Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody here to Levy Court Chambers in person, and for those that are streaming live, if you can, in the chat, type your names so that we could put you on the attendance list. My name is Captain John Tinger from Kent County Paramedics, and this is our third time presenting this. I think the last time was back in 2019. The civilian response course is what you see on the thing. It's the it's the response to violent intruders. Unfortunately, there is the reality in the world that we live today that there could be that possibility. We're not here to intimidate anybody. We're not here to scare anybody. As a matter of fact, the purpose of this course is to do the complete opposite. Give you some information, give you some techniques that you can use if you do find yourself in that position, whether it be at work or at a personal life at a shopping mall. Once we're done with the lecture or watch a short video, you'll see a demonstration on Stop the Bleed. We have the kits here, so immediately after this, if you have signed up for it, you can remain. We'll do hands-on practicals with Stop the Bleed, tourniquet application, direct pressure, if you want to see that. I'm going to introduce the two gentlemen that will be teaching you guys today. The SWAT medic team commander, Lieutenant Scott McMillan, has been doing this for a long time, and Sergeant Kenny Kelly is the SWAT medic team leader. They both have been around the country with trainings and have done a lot of extensive conferences and symposiums on active shooter response. So they are the experts. So if there's any questions, please do not hesitate to raise your hand, stop them. The other disclaimer I'm going to have is Lieutenant McMillan, you will hear soon enough, has an accent. He will try to speak slow enough for you to understand him. We're working on subtitles. Mark, you got them set? He's not even here, say. So hopefully he'll be able to articulate what he's trying to say. So without further ado, I'll turn this over to Lieutenant McMillan.
Thank you. So I'm going to stand back with my mask off because otherwise you're not going to understand anything I say. So the purpose of this morning is the civilian response course. We're going to cover a few things. It's going to be the events themselves, the actual body response to the events, and then the run, hide, fight, or avoid, deny, defend. And we're going more for the avoid, deny, defend because hiding doesn't work, whereas denying entry does. So those of you that were here in 2019 are going to notice it's a much shorter presentation, but that's because of the fact that we're trying to compress it for the video audience. Okay, why are we doing it here? Well, it's because the location of attacks, the most common one is a commerce location, and the county buildings come under commerce. So this is the reason why the leadership really wanted this training for everybody. There's usually an attacker connection to the location. So as you can see, 55% of the time it's someone that either worked there or had a connection with a family member at the place. Okay, the number of deaths at each of these active shooter events is a combination of two things. How quickly the police arrive and target availability. And the training we're doing is so that we can create less targets for an active attacker. Obviously, the police train on getting to the events quick. We're here to help with the second part. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is the average response time for law enforcement to arrive at a location. That's not 3 minutes to arrive at the location and find the attacker. That's just to get to the location. So what we need to do is to train to get through the 3 minutes plus before law enforcement gets to us. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Sergeant Kelly about disaster response.
Clicker, please. So obviously the slide says the disaster response. This is the background science of how people behave in high stress events. And we'll touch more into that going into the avoid, deny, defend here shortly. So 3 stages of disaster response. Denial, deliberation, and decisive movement. So the first stage is now, obviously, you hear gunshots, you want to say, that didn't sound like gunfire. We're good. Deliberation. See if I can get this clicker to work for me. So think about what's going on in the situation. Think about your surroundings and where you are in the building. Calm yourself, do some tactical breathing, close your eyes, breathe, shift your emotions, stay fit, and try to figure out your best course of action. Deliberation, this is what I hope you guys take from this today as you go back to your offices, go back to wherever your cubicles are or your rooms are today, and practice. Figure out where you need to be, where's the best place to hide, where's the best egress options. And this is an important aspect as well, your civilian response. Again, don't deny. I don't think the sound worked on that one, did it? I'm going to go back real quick. So normally we have a gunshot sound effect on here. Let's see if we can play it. Nada. Okay. So you hear gunshots, you feel like you think you hear gunshots. Don't deny that's not what it was. Be on high alert. Immediately after that, you go to your deliberation. And we'll get more on that right here. So avoid, that's your run. Avoid, deny, defend. Or run, hide, fight is what they used to be probably back when, if you guys came to the class in 2019. But avoid, so you run. If you're near an egress point, get out of the building. Deny is hide. In your offices, if you have a closet which you can barricade, or you have somewhere you can go where you are less exposed, that's the point of the deny and the hide. And then defend, fight. If you're close to the patient, if you're close to the suspect and you can get in to defend yourself, that's your last course of option, and that's why that's on there. So this is your deliberation. So get rid of the denial. You hear gunshots, you hear anything suspect, go right to your deliberation. Stay calm and think about what you guys learned here today. Again, this may be obvious, but if there's gunshots going on and you guys get amped up and you're nervous, you might get disoriented. You want to get out as quick as you can. So focus on where your exits are. Know your egress for each department and each division in here. And obviously call 911. Most of you will have your cell phones with you. I wouldn't stay to use the landline. And then consider your secondary exits. So your primary exit's right there, right under where it says camera 13, obviously. But you also have a secondary exit out the back, and you have a tertiary upstairs to the ladder to the roof. So consider all options. And then the deny or the hide portion, we try to get away from saying hide, because if you get under a cubicle, a lot of times, like if you guys researched the Navy Yard shooting, the gentleman was going through each cubicle and looking for people that were hiding. So we want to focus on denied now. Find a room, find a closet, lock the door, turn the lights out, and get out of sight. Make sure they can't access that room. They've gotten away from hiding since 2019, I believe. Now we want to deny them entry, deny them vision of where you are, and barricade. There's a lot of desks in this building. If you find yourself in a closet or you have things in there, you can barricade in front of the door. And then obviously you see, the heavier the better, the more the better. If you have a door stop, bring that with you. It's all little things to think about once the deliberation process begins. And then they're just put into things that you can use to block that door. Again, focus on the deny part, not necessarily the hide. So that's not supposed to say deny, hide, that's supposed to say defend. So this is where your defense mechanism comes in. Obviously, if you guys are right by the door, you can see they're grabbing the suspect. There's two of them that try to subdue him, get the gun out of his hand. Now, obviously, if Mr. Cuela is the intruder and I'm here, I'm not going to try to defend from here, because if I'm running towards him, he's shooting back at me. I'm talking about somebody who's right inside the door next to him and can grab him, preferably more than one of you, and fight. That's where you have to shift your emotions to survival mode. Again, focus on your surroundings. Is this yours, LT? Okay. Again, focus on your surroundings in your room. When you guys go back today, I can't stress it enough. Even if you came and did this in 2019, look at where your exits are. Look at where secondary, tertiary exits are. Look at places you can hide, things you can use to barricade, and where you can get yourself in a good position to fight if you have to. Now that's you, right? All right. Okay. So here we're going to run through another little scenario. The attack starts. Where's your primary exits? Do you know where your primary exits are? If you do, yes, you can get out. Avoid the intruder. If you don't know where your primary exits are, deny. Find a place to hide. Get into a spot where you can barricade. Are there other exits, secondary, tertiary exits? Yes, then you can go back to the avoid and you can get out of the building as far away as you can. No, this is where your defense mechanism comes in. Avoid, deny, defend.
Okay, so once the police arrive, obviously their primary job is to get in and find the shooter. But when you see them, as this shows, follow the commands, show your hands, and don't move. Don't have your phone in your hand or anything else, just so you can show you've got an empty hand. Okay, this is their focus. They're there to stop the killing. So if you have been shot or injured in any way, even if you're shouting out to them, help me, help me, help me, they're going to keep going past you until they locate where the shooter is. Once they've located that person and isolated them, then people will be able to come help you. But as you can see, they have a mission focus of stopping the killing, then stopping the dying, which is where they come to give aid and then evacuate you. Okay, there's going to be a trained EMS delay. Excuse me. Now, we do have, all of our paramedics are trained to come into a warm situation, which means they'll be able to come into an area that's been cleared. So that's a step ahead of a lot of places. So, take some comfort in knowing that. But in the meantime, people do need help. So this is why we're doing the Stop the Bleed training with all of you, or anybody that wants to do it. Because wherever there's an AED in the county buildings, we do have Stop the Bleed kits, and that's what we're going to be showing you today. Okay, and the whole point of the Stop the Bleed training is to empower you. Okay, it's not to scare you or make you think that we're trying to train you to be paramedics or nurses or doctors. It's to empower you so that if you do come across a situation where someone is injured, you can help them. And that's what we're really here to do, is to help each other. Do we have any questions? No. Okay, we have a short video that John's going to key up for us, the video, which will show all of these concepts in one. It's made by Walmart, and the acting is not top-notch. I apologize.
But it focuses on the avoid, deny, defend, so it's corny, but it focuses on what you're supposed to do in that situation.
911, what's your emergency? There's a gunman inside the store. We need help now.
Do anything last weekend? It was very nice, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Excited about is the new system enhancement. What's going to be the solution by the time we...
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Actually think he's got an old, well, he's got a truck. I don't know if your daughter would be interested.
There's a gunman inside the store. He's shooting the place up. We need help now.
Issues that we found. Okay, Emily, see what that is. See what's going on. Just let us know what you find out.
There's a man with a gun. He's right there.
Against the wall. Lights. Lock it.
Right down. There you go. You're safe for that.
There's a guy with a gun. He's shooting. Look.
James, we don't have
No, look.
Run! 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 To the right! To the right! To the loading dock! Come on, this way, this way, this way!
Oh, no, come here.
Yeah, in here, in here. The gunman's coming.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to defend ourselves.
I can't do this.
You're gonna see your daughter tonight, okay? We are all going to go home tonight, all right? We have a right to defend ourselves. Get the gun! Get the gun! Hey! Hold him down, hold him down!
Gosh, I'm just so glad you're okay.
Yes, we're all gonna go home. Everybody's going home.
Yeah.
If you ever have the misfortune to be in an active shooter event, you deserve to survive. In our research, we have found that the actions that potential victims take during these events are critical to their survival. We have identified 3 options that have proven effective in many events. These are: avoid the attacker, deny the attacker access to your area, defend yourself. It is a personal decision, but you have a right to do so. Avoiding the attacker starts with being aware of your surroundings at all times and knowing what is going on around you. If you see or hear something that looks suspicious, take action. For example, the stalker took immediate and effective action to protect himself when he observed the shooter pulling out weapons from the bag. Others, however, hesitated, and this hesitation can cost them valuable time that they could have used to get away from the threat. If you hear something that is, or could be, gunfire, start trying to get away from it as soon as possible. Gunfire has a distinctive sound. Inside of buildings, the sound can be muffled or distorted. A single loud bang could be a person dropping something, or even thunder. But repeated loud bangs are much more likely to be gunfire. Additionally, look at the reaction of others. Are they startled or scared? Are they running? What are they saying? Any one of these events individually may create denial, but when put together should create a heightened awareness and stimulate an immediate response. It is important that you know how to get out. The situation will be chaotic and rapidly changing. In general, you will want to go to the nearest exit. But you must also understand that the closest exit may not be accessible or safe to use. If this is the case, go to a different exit. While avoiding the threat, consider the uses of cover and concealment. Cover offers protection from gunfire while concealment minimizes your exposure to the attacker. Try to keep objects between you and the attacker. If you can't avoid the attacker, sometimes the best option will be to deny the attacker access to your location. In many locations, this can be accomplished by closing and locking a door, such as they did in the meeting room. Locking the door has proven effective in many attacks. If the door does not, you can place heavy objects in front of it. Remember, barricades work best if the door opens toward you. If it doesn't, use things that are readily available, such as straps, belts, or objects that can be used to block or secure the door to make it difficult for the attacker to enter the room. This may at least slow the attacker down and give you time to identify alternate means of escape, such as adjoining rooms or windows. When attempting to deny access to your location, you want to make it appear that there is no one in your area. Lock doors, turn off the lights, silence your phones, and get out of sight. Your attempt to deny the attacker access to your location might fail.
The gunman's coming.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to defend ourselves.
Have a backup plan about what you will do. In many cases, this may be to defend yourself. You need to be in a place where you can act if the attacker comes into your location. In most rooms, you will line up against the same wall that the door is on, near the door so you can react, but not directly in front of it. If you are unable to avoid or deny, your best option may be to defend yourself by using whatever is available. In a situation where someone is attempting to kill you, you have the legal right to defend yourself. Attack weak spots such as eyes, throat, and groin. Fight to the best of your ability and do not quit until the attacker is stopped. This is what the workers in the warehouse did when they were unable to avoid the attacker and felt their lives were in immediate danger. Whatever option you choose, call 911 as soon as you are in a safe location. Provide any information that you know. The operator will ask you a lot of questions. If you don't know the answer, don't guess. Just say you don't know and only state the facts.
I'm not sure. There's 3 of us in the room. We're on the...
There's a guy with a gun. He's shooting.
This will be a complex situation, and we can't tell you what you should do in every case. What we can do is provide you with information about the options that we have found to be most effective for surviving these attacks. The ultimate choice is yours. What you do matters. Avoid the attacker. Deny access to your location. Defend yourself. Law enforcement will be entering a chaotic scene with limited information. Their first priority will be to stop the threat to your safety. The police may not know where or who the threat is. Listen and comply with their commands immediately.
Put it down, sir. Put it down. Both of you on the ground.
Police are trained to look at people's hands to assess threats. Do not have anything in your hands that could be perceived as a weapon, such as a cell phone.
Show me your hands, sir. Show me your hands. Move to us. Everybody, keep your hands up, please. Walk out the door.
If told to do so, stay where you are and do not make sudden movements. Again, follow all commands. Remember, what you do matters. Avoid the attacker. Deny access to your location. Defend yourself. Remember, ADD. You can survive.
I know it was a pretty intense video, but I think it's good that you were able to see how intense these scenes can be. And mentally preparing yourself for any type of situation will ease that fight, flight, or freeze, and you'll less likely freeze in a situation and be able to make some conscious decisions. Any questions so far? Mark, is there anything online? All right, the next thing we're going to do is actually going to go over the stop the bleed kits that are in all of the county buildings. Like Lieutenant McMillan mentioned before, there's 3 in this building, and they're located by the AEDs. 2 on the first, or 2 on the second floor and 1 on the first floor. So I'm going to let Scott go over when you get to the kit to open it up, what to expect to find inside of it. Want me to go over it?
Okay, so once you open the kit, this is what it's going to look like when you take it out. When you take it out, it's going to be this. Now, obviously, okay, so this is what you're going to find when you actually open the pack. Obviously, these are all vacuum sealed, but we have trainers. The only thing missing out the trainers are the scissors. So inside we have a compressed dressing, a tourniquet, some gauze, gloves for you to put on before you use it, and then a survival blanket to help prevent against hypothermia. What we're going to do now is just show you a video on how to put on the tourniquet. As you can see, it goes around, the loop goes around the arm. And what you want is that plastic piece right there, you want that on the outside. They're wrapping the strap around as tight as they can, and then they're turning that, as you can see, in a clockwise direction, or anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter. And then using the loops on it to hook it in once they get it nice and tight. Right, then the excess is wrapped around, and then that helps to keep it locked down. Now there is a pen in these, or a Sharpie, I should say, so you can put down on there the time that you applied it. Now it's all very well watching the video, but we actually have the trainers here so we can train everybody. So if anybody wants to do it today, or if you at a later date would like some Stop the Bleed training, today would be a good day because tomorrow is National Stop the Bleed Day, so we kind of thought that was a good thing. But we do have the stuff here to train you, and what we can do is do 2 people at a time to keep social distancing, and then we can go from there.
Thank you, Lieutenant McMillan. So the Stop the Bleed, the tourniquets, or as my partner says, tourniquets. So in America, we call them tourniquets. The tourniquets are used for extremity bleeding. So one of the things they found with all of these violent intruder and active shooter events is that one of the main causes of bleeding or death is bleeding out. So before the emergency personnel can get there, we have the bleed kits so civilians can help the civilians, since you're right there in the scene. So these tourniquets can be applied to either of the upper extremities or to the lower extremities. If there's bleeding from the main part of the body or the head, then there's also gauze in there too that you would then do direct pressure. And we can go through all of that hands-on if you'd like to. One more time, I'm going to open up for questions, comments. I know we set up the time throughout the day, but if you've signed up for the Stop the Bleed at any point today, remain in here and we'll take care of it right now. So we don't have to worry about coming back at a later time. Yes, also, and I don't remember what the specific numbers are, but they are in the blog, correct, Mr. Coelho? The intercom system. So the video did talk about calling 911 as soon as you can. One of the procedures that the county has set up is an intercom system in all 3 of the buildings. And each building has their own specific intercom number that will activate all the phones. So if there is a violent intruder and you can safely alert everyone in the building, you would dial that 4-digit extension that would activate the phones. And as in clear voice as you can, you should announce that there is a violent intruder in the entrance of the building or in the back of the building. And and then you need to start your avoid, deny, defend that you can do. So that's another way just to alert everyone else in the building. And Mr. Coelho has those intercom numbers in the blogs. All right, well, if I don't have any questions, we thank you very much. I will, in the email is, or in the blog is our emails. If you have any questions that you think of afterwards, please feel free, don't hesitate to reach out. And we could actually do individualized stop the bleed training if someone wishes to do that. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day. And if you didn't sign in the beginning, come down and sign in now.